Okay, hello everybody. I'm going to try to do maybe a couple of videos today. Um, and so I'm going to start with answering some of your questions um, or responding to some of your uh, responses to my videos. So this one appeared on my computer screen a few days ago by Beloved Strummer 6140. This person commented saying, quote, "Glad you are back. Please make more videos about black men. As a black man, I am learning what mistakes to not make." Okay, so let me see which video he's referring to. I think, oh, okay. He's talking to, okay, he made one, I guess, under my video called "My Voice Gets Purposely Distorted and Chipmunked, So Beware." Uh, so I'll just go ahead and click a heart next to your name. Once again, he says, "Glad you are back. Please make more videos about black men. As a black man, I am learning what mistakes to not make." Okay. So, what I've noticed growing up out here in the western part of the United States, and I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I grew up out here in the West, not West Coast, but western part of the United States, because the state that I reside in is a western state. Okay, that's as far as I'll go, because I have a lot of very obsessed people that live in this state that I'm at. And so I don't want to be too specific as to what state it is, because these people are very obsessed with me. They watch my Facebook page daily. They react in the workplace. They have traced my YouTube page down. They listen to every goddamn video I make. And they just obsess themselves with me. Okay, constantly watching my Facebook page, constantly watching my YouTube page. They'll turn people against me. If, you know, it's like if I have any kind of person that I speak to at work that I'm seen speaking to, I get these strange occurrences that keep happening where suddenly these people will just stop all conversations with me, and they'll shun me. And I think it's due to the videos that I'm making and the Facebook posts that I'm posting. And the reason why I'm doing all of this, the reason why I make the type of posts that I make on Facebook, is because I am trying to bring my people into an awareness of what's going on in the United States. The black race is purposely being bred out. I've been warning black people for years about being a targeted race for being bred out. I've talked about all the interracial commercials, the all the interracial media ads, the sales ads, anywhere that they can put in a photograph of a white woman with a dark-skinned black man, they'll do it. It's gotten so bad, it's gotten all the way down to cartoons where they will show, they will advertise these games on Facebook for you to play, or on your main screen, computer screen. They'll advertise games, and they'll insert, whenever you see the people, they'll insert a white woman with a black man. Now, I don't understand. Why can't they just insert a white woman with a white man? Why is it always have to be white woman, black man? Or how come it can't be a white woman with a Hispanic man, or a white woman with an Asian man? Why does it always have to be a white woman with a black man? And 90% of the time, he's a dark-skinned black man. So I've been bringing this into the awareness of black people because they're so asleep. And not only are they asleep, a lot of them that are awake and do notice it don't seem to have a problem with it. And it's like, how can you not be against your race being bred out? Why would you want the black race to be bred out with all that we have accomplished here in America? It's not like we just leech off of everyone. We have put in quite a bit of athletes into the the athletic field, very memorable athletes into the Olympics. We've invented things. We've created all this music, and so we've done our fair share. We've done a whole lot more than some of these other races that are not necessarily white, but they're some of these other races that just kind of are here, but they haven't really had much of an input on anything. They can only go back to their country of what their ancestors built. But what have you done today? Where are your inventions? What music have you put out? What athletes have you contributed to the United States that have won gold medals in Olympics and all that type of stuff like black people have done? Everybody wants to turn on black people and against black people. But not some of these other races that hate black people so much haven't put in what black people have put in. They haven't accomplished nowhere near the things that we have accomplished, yet they have the nerve to sit up here and be racist against black people, as if we're leeching off of the system and they're not. Okay? I haven't seen some of these other races inventing anything to that's a contribution to society. Not that I'm aware of. I haven't seen it, but I have seen quite a few things that black people have invented right here in the United States. And so I don't understand why all the hate is geared at black people, yet everybody wants to have babies, these mixed race babies with black men. And so they don't want to see black men with black women, but some of these other races are more than willing to sleep with black men and have biracial kids, and then they'll turn those biracial kids against black people. They raise them to be racist. Okay, they raise them so that they don't have anything in common with black people. They don't know about their black side. They don't know how to relate to black people. They're very uncomfortable around black people. They have issues with black people, and it's very obvious. And some of them even have the nerve to be racist against other mixed race black people. Yeah, okay. So, my answer to this guy's comment when he says, "Glad you are back. Please make more videos about black men because I want to learn what not to do." Okay, so this is how you can contribute to the black race here in America. If you are interested in making a difference, start investing in black businesses. Start, going to black events. Start supporting black people. If you have daughters, make sure that you remember their birthdays, or not just your sons, but if you have daughters, make sure you spend a lot more time with them. Spend more time with your children, period, whether they're girls or boys. Pay attention to both of them equally. Don't just worship and praise your sons and then just ignore your daughters. Okay, that's a big problem in the black community. A lot of black men act like their daughters don't even exist. And if and when they do pay attention to their kids at all, and it's a big if and when, because a lot of them don't have anything to do with their kids at all. Some do, some don't. Most of them don't. But when they do have something to do with their kids, they're very much into favoritism. You're going to have to ditch that, because you created these kids. Even though you might have favorites, you still owe a debt to all of your offspring that you created. So it's up to you to treat them equally, because if you don't, by the time you are reincarnated back into your next life, you will be paying for everything that you've placed upon your children. Okay? That's how this stuff works. If you are no longer with the mother of your children, make sure the kids have food. Make sure they're not hungry. Try to get involved with their schooling. Pay attention to their grades. If they have, call them up, talk to them over the phone when you can. Get involved with your kids' lives. Know who your kids are, because a lot of black males, they create these kids and that's it. They don't have anything else to do with them, and then you wonder why your offspring grows up to hate black men. A lot of it has to do with black men not wanting or desiring to have anything to do with their children. Just because it didn't work out between you and the mother of the kids, you still have a debt to pay to your kids. You created. Whether you get along with the mother or not, don't take your frustrations and angers out on your children, regardless whether or not they look like the mother. They can't help that. They didn't ask you to put them here. They didn't choose which parent that they would look more like. You are still responsible for the input of 50% of that kid's DNA. So it is up to you to get involved with your children. There's way too much favoritism that goes on in the black community with black men. Okay, and black women too. I'm going to get on them next. Maybe not in this video, but it's coming. Because there's a lot of favoritism with them when it comes to kids too. But right now we're talking about black men, because I had a black man contact me and ask me to make more videos concerning them. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because see, the more you involve yourself in with your children, the more worthy you become, the more, if I had kids, I would be paying very close attention to the father's involvement. And if he's willing to put in as much as he can, then I am going to allow him to see the kids and to interact with the kids on a regular basis, as long as I know he's not hurting them or doing anything to them that he shouldn't be doing. If he's treating his children right, well, yeah, I would allow him to have visitation rights. Yeah, if you're showing concern with your children and you want to be involved with their lives, which you should, because that makes a huge difference. When your kids can call you up on the phone and cry to you and tell you, hey, this is what's going on in my life, pay attention, listen. This is your offspring. Show some interest, because you put enough interest in creating them, and so put enough interest into upkeeping them once they get here. Okay? Otherwise, don't have them. If you're not willing to get involved with your kids at all, you just want to create them and go on about your business, just stop having kids. Just don't have any. It's better to be in a state of non-existence than to be put on a planet where your father doesn't care about you at all. That's a lot more hurtful than me remaining in the spirit world in an unborn state. Okay? The spirit world is a whole lot more pleasant of a place to be than to come to a planet where your parents don't really want to be involved with you. I would rather be in a state of non-existence in this reality and to be in a spirit world where I am loved and accepted. Okay? So really take that into consideration. So don't make those mistakes as far as not being involved with your children. Get involved with their grades. Try to show some type of concern. If they make good grades, give them some type of reward. Take them to McDonald's. You know, sometimes just the small things like that really, really mean a lot. If your kid gets 4 A's and 1 B, take them to McDonald's, sit there and have a meal with them, or you can upgrade it. Take them to a restaurant of their choice. Take them out for their very favorite food and sit down and eat with that kid and take photos, you know. Show some type of love and concern with your kids, because a lot of these black males are so unconcerned and involved with their children. Okay? And that really hurts. I think that kids can go a whole lot farther in life when both parents are involved. There was a time where I went to go live with my dad because my parents were divorced when I was a very young age. One time my mom got into one of her moods and we got into it. So she got real upset and sent me to go live with my father for a little while. Okay. Well, I get over to my father's house, you know, and of course I didn't want to go at first because I wasn't used to living with my father, but I didn't really have any other choice. So I went over there to live for a few weeks. I think I might have been over there maybe 2 months before my mother came to take me back. And in a way, I started, you know, when I started living over there, I had 2 parents. that I was coming home to, even though my father had to go and work. I still had my stepmother that I was coming home to. She is one of the best stepmoms that, you know, any kid could ask for. We did have our ups and downs, but when she was in her good moods, she was a really, really good mother. Okay. I would come home to cooked meals every night, every day. And this woman knew how to cook. So that made a big difference, because a lot of the times I would look forward to eating dinner. Okay. Not that I didn't eat dinner every night with my mom. It's just that a lot of the times my sister would have to cook it because my mother had to work. So she didn't really get to cook a lot. My sister would do a lot of the cooking, and it was good, you know. And so sometimes I came home to a cooked meal. Other times I was eating top ramen for dinner, okay, that I had to prepare myself. Luckily, I knew how to cook enough to be able to withstand myself, you know, with living with my mother, because she would have to go and work because she had two kids to support and she wasn't getting any child support. Okay. So, we, you know, me and my sister, a lot of the times my sister would cook the meals, or every now and then I would cook something until my sister started going to work. And so then I would be coming home and I would have the whole house to myself. Okay. And I would have to know how to cook. But when I was living with my dad, I might have been around maybe 16 when she put me out and told me to go live with my dad. Maybe 15. I might have been 15 or 14. I can't really remember exactly what age it was, but I got to go live with my father for a couple of months, and it was great. I got the whole basement to myself, okay, because they stayed upstairs. They had a room downstairs in the basement. At first, I was scared to sleep down there on my own, but I learned to overlook it. I would wake up to breakfast. Sometimes she would fix breakfast. Sometimes I would fix cereal on my own. I always had a mother figure there to see me off to school. So my stepmom didn't have to work. And so it made a big difference to wake up to someone there, someone that was up and active, someone to see me off to school, someone to welcome me back home from school, to go and do my homework and not have to worry about who's going to fix dinner because it was being made every night. I was able to talk to my stepmom about what went on during the day. She would listen. And, you know, I was able to do my homework because I didn't have to make dinner for myself, so I was able to actually concentrate on my grades. And so when I was living with my father, my grades almost skyrocketed because I think it had a lot to do with my stepmother. I was coming home to someone that was there. And I'm not blaming my mother. I'm not putting her at fault. She had to work. Okay, it just so happened that my stepmom got to stay home. And so it does make a difference when you have someone to come home to. You know, when you're going to school, you don't have to worry about who's going to be fixing your meals. If you need help with your homework, there's someone there that can tutor you. Thank God she was a very smart person. So if I needed any type of tutoring, she could have, you know, she was there to do it. She could have done it. You know, I didn't need a whole lot, but she would be the one that I would go to because she was actually a college student at one time. So she would be able to help me in those areas. Um, we would do things on the weekends. Um, we would get together as a family and do things. And so having a mother type figure, in the home whenever I would come home really made a big difference. And, after a while, I think when I went to go, when I was staying with my dad, I think I went to go visit my grandparents for the weekend. And then that's when my mom made her move to come over and to take me back to her home. Okay. In all honesty, I wish in a way I could have stayed with my dad because I think I was just better off in an environment where I had a family there. And again, my stepmother did play a large role in that because of the type of person, that she was. So that does have a lot to do with it. She was just a good person and very smart and pretty educated. Okay. So that had a lot to do with it because again, my father was working a lot. So I didn't get to see him as much because of that. But, when he was off, I did get to see him. And, but to tell you the honest truth, I think a lot of why I liked it over with my dad is because of my stepmom. Because again, like I just told you, my dad was working a lot of the times, but because of her, I actually had someone to help me sometimes with my homework. And it was just nice. The house had a very warm feeling to it. It was a family environment. And she kind of treated us as her kids. And I'm not really sure at that time if my little brother had been born or not. I think he was. And so I think he had been born. Yeah, he was born at that time. And so I would come home and see my little brother and play with him. And so I wasn't the only one. I wasn't the only kid. It was me and him. And it used to crack me up when we would be sitting at the dinner table and he would not want to eat his vegetables. And my dad would just look at him one time and he would start crying and then he would start eating his vegetables. It would crack me up whenever we had those sessions because my brother, he had such a cute little baby face, and whenever my dad would look at him, my dad wouldn't even have to yell at him or speak mean to him or anything. He would just give him this mean look and my brother would automatically start eating his vegetables. I'm not going to sit here and say my dad was perfect, but and my stepmom wasn't either, but I still had it was like a family type environment and it was nice, so this is why I'm saying that it is very highly beneficial within the Black community to have families where somebody is always going to be at home. And most of the time, the most beneficial way is when the man is working and the woman is staying at home so that she can tend to the children, because the mother is the nurturing one, the loving one, the caring one, the one that's going to feed you, the one that's going to help you with your schoolwork, the one that's going to listen to your problems, the one that's going to help you go shopping, It's usually the mother that does a lot of that. If you're fortunate enough to get a good one, whether she's your real mom or your stepmother or whatever, whoever is going to be taking the role of the mother, if you're fortunate enough to come across a good one, that's almost an irreplaceable thing that makes so much of a difference in a child's life. And so if black men want custody of their kids, if they are in a situation where they think that they can be more of a beneficial presence in their children's life, then they need to have a woman around that is going to show those kids the attention that they need, the love that they need, the care that they need. She's going to treat those kids as if they were her own. And it's hard. It's not easy to find women that will do that. But I'm that type of woman that I would have done that if I had met a black guy out here, because I don't have any kids. And so if I had met one that did have kids, I would have, if he would have, if we would have gotten married, I would have raised those children as if they were my own, because I don't have any kids, And so black men in the Western states, a lot of them are so racist and so prejudiced towards black females because a lot of them grew up in broken up homes. And so they all think that just because they might have grown up in a broken home where they didn't get along with their mothers, they tend to think that all black women represent their mother. They tend to think that all black women are going to be just like their mother. So what they'll do is they'll use that as an excuse to date outside their race, thinking that these women from these other nations are going to be the problem solver, and a lot of times that's not the case. In some cases it can be okay, but in most cases it doesn't work out, okay? Because they don't have anything to bring to a black family. They don't know how to take care of black kids. They don't know how to interact with black children. They don't know how to handle racist situations. And so it's more beneficial for black children, even if they're mixed race. It's more beneficial for them to have a black mother, because only the black mother is going to know how to handle racism. She's going to know how to teach the children how to handle racism. And she's going to know how to do their hair. She's going to know how to train them how to dress. She's going to know how to train them how to have manners and how to interact with people in society. Okay? A lot of the black males that I grew up around were so fucking racist that they would overlook girls like me just because of the color of my skin. And mind you, I'm very light-skinned with green eyes even. But just that didn't have any effect on them at all. They would completely overlook that, see that I was black, and completely automatically kick me out, and go and pursue these women of these other nations. Anything other than a black woman or a mixed race black woman to these black males, they thought was just the prime thing to be with. Not knowing that I grew up knowing the importance of what a good family life could do to a black child. Okay? Now, when I did live with my mom, in my younger years, I lived with my mother, and my grandmother and my grandfather. That was a very good environment to be in as well. But after a while, we got our own, you know, place, and then my mom, she had to work still, so a lot of the times she wasn't home. And so I was coming home, to an empty house, or sometimes my sister would be there. And it just wasn't a family type of uh, environment. So it's just very important to have a family environment. It's very important to be able to have someone at home when you come home. Because a lot of the times, like even today when I go to work, I don't interact with a lot of them people up there because a lot of them are fake. They are, they will listen to whoever tells them anything and not investigate it first. They'll believe anything anybody tells them without investigating it first. And so then they'll just shun you. And when I see all this type of stuff, it doesn't really bother me. What happens is it just makes it so that I don't want any friends at all. And I'm perfectly okay with being by myself with no friends because that's how it's been most of my life. And so I'm perfectly used to that. It doesn't bother me at all. But I'm getting to a point now where I'm starting to just push everybody away who even walks up to me because I'm trying to save myself the trouble of going through the bullshit later. If I say something on my Facebook page or that, someone might not agree with, I'm just saving myself the trouble from being shunned in the future. I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to say what's on my mind. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to be who I am. And if you don't like it, that's just you. You're not going to change who I am, and you're not going to change me from expressing myself whenever I get ready to do that. I'm going to be me, and that's all there is to it. And so don't even come at me because eventually I'm going to end up saying something that you don't like. So just stay the fuck over in your corner and I'll stay over in my space, and we don't have to worry about you shunning me in the future. Because that shit, it gets on my nerves because you don't know what you said that pissed these people off. You don't know who told them what. These people just will believe something. And maybe that didn't happen. Maybe they're just becoming that way because Trump is now in office. So maybe with Trump being in office, maybe he has changed the minds of a lot of Americans. And now that he's running things, now you're seeing a whole different side of people. And if that's the case, then you never should have, spoken to me at all in the first place, even when Obama was in office. If you can't be your real self at all times, but you're going to change if a Nazi gets in the White House, suddenly you're going to change and you're going to shun your black friends or whatever. Because I've had this happen twice, where I've had these associates, and I'll call them associates because that's all they are. I would have conversations with them on a regular basis. I would interact with them whenever I would come to work. Then as soon as Trump gets in office, I get these sudden changes in these people where suddenly they start shunning me. And I'm wondering what happened because I never got into arguments with these people, never had any type of disagreements with them. Never said anything to them that would put them in a position to not like me. They just suddenly shun me. This has happened twice. Okay. So I'm at that point now where it's like, don't even come up to me, because if later on you're going to just switch up and change over something that I might have said on social media, then just don't even walk my way in the first place. I'm just getting to that point right now. So my point is that I can always come home to my family members, and they're always here. Okay. And so I don't really need people at work to interact with at all. I don't really, I can just go to work, do my job, come home, and then interact with my real family member, my family members or whatever. That's why it's important to be able to come home to something. Even if it's a boyfriend, if it's your best friend, if it's your husband or your wife or whatever, as long as you have that consistent relationship with someone, and you know that it's permanent, and you can interact with that person, you can call that person and talk to that person. You need social interaction, and a lot of black men in the western parts of the United States don't offer that to black women at all. In fact, one of the things that I have noticed is most of the men that talk to me whenever I'm out in public are white men. Most of the men that speak to me are white men. And so when it comes to these black males, they don't interact with me at all, really. Only on very rare occasions. Very rare. I've had some interaction with some of them, but for the most part, they will just look right past you if you're black and interact with these women from these other nations. Because again, when you're seeing ads all day, every single place you look, it's black man, white woman, black man, white woman, TV commercials, ads, poster boards, even going so far as video games, the advertising for video games, all that type of stuff. Whenever they get the opportunity, they are plastering that shit everywhere. Black man, white woman, black man, white woman. And so after a while, this gets to the subconscious mind of black men. And eventually, black women, they don't see them as family anymore. They don't see them as partners anymore. You just gave them birth, and that's it. They don't even see you as their birth, mothers anymore. You're just a vehicle that got them here. They see the white woman and the Hispanic woman as everything, but you're just a vehicle that put them here, and that's it. When I see things like this, I don't want to have any kids. I'm not going to be bringing a black man's child into this world knowing that, first, he's not going to be a father image to my children. Number two, if I have a son, he's going to grow up to see the black woman as his enemy. Why would I want to give birth to something like that? Why not just not have kids? Because if I'm going to be giving birth to enemies, then I might as well not even have them. That's my whole philosophy on that. Don't give birth to something that's then going to grow up to see you as something that's inferior to them. Because the mainstream media is brainwashing them on an everyday basis, and there's really nothing you can do. And so my message is, if there's black men out there that agree with what I'm saying, then do something about this. Start getting out there and protesting against it. Because it has created a lot of problems for the black family. the black family almost doesn't even exist anymore, because it's being put into the minds of young black men from the day they're able to walk, and from the day they are able to look at the television, that they are supposed to be with anything but a black woman. They grow up seeing this, from toddlers all the way up into adults. And so there's no reason for me to have children if that's what the society is going to teach them, and I don't have any control over that. If black men are not going to fight against this, then there's no reason for me to have kids as a black woman, because I'm just raising sons that are just going to see the daughters that I bring into this world as vehicles to give them birth, and that's it. And I want more than that. So if I can't get more than that, then I just won't have any more children. That's the way I see it. Okay, that's the way I'm talking as a spirit right now, as the mother spirit right now is talking through me to get this message out to the black race, to put a stop to this. And you guys have the power to do it, because it's not a fair deal when black women are just completely overlooked all the time. And a lot of these men from these other races are raised to be racist. And so the chances of black women finding a partner are almost 0 to none. When you're having sons that are taught to put you last on the list for a mate, and then the rest of society is taught that you are inferior, what are your chances of getting married? None. Almost 0 to none. And so for black women, my suggestion is, if you can get out of here and go back to Africa, that would probably be, as far as I'm thinking, that would probably be ideal. Because why would you want your kids to grow up in an environment where they are being trained to put you on the back burner and to put other women up first and over you? Why would you want to bring kids into a society like that? Because basically what's happening is it's keeping the black family broken. It's keeping the black family in a broken state, to where there's not going to be a black family. That's what they're training young black men to do, is to marry, date, and procreate with anything that doesn't look like them. Okay. And so this way the black family can't survive. We can't come together when it's constantly being plastered into the minds of our young youth to date, marry, and procreate with anything that doesn't look like you, and then to shun the women that do look like you. What type of world is that? And so the best bet in this day and age, if I was in my 20s, my main goal would be to get the fuck out of the United States and to go to where I'm loved. And one of my suggestions would be, don't go to none of these Spanish-speaking islands or countries, because it's going to be the same thing. They're going to worship and praise your black sons and shun your daughters. Your daughters are going to grow up with no choices of men as far as husbands, and your sons will grow up fighting all these women off of him, because black men are worshiped and praised all over the world, because the media makes them as kings and queens, while at the same time they put black woman on a back burner. And so if she goes anywhere outside of Africa, she's going to be shunned. She might be welcomed in another country, but what are her chances of getting married, though? Probably 0 to none, because again, in these Spanish-speaking countries, it doesn't matter where you go, Spain has trained their children that white is right. White is put at the top of the list, black is put at the back. Okay, they have a whole caste system based on that shit. That everywhere Spain has went and colonized, they created a caste system. So black men will be favored and placed up at the top. Black women are going to be on the back burner. This is why I would not recommend going to any countries that are Spanish speaking at all. Because all you have to do is look into the history of Spain. Wherever they colonized, this is what they did. Black women on a black women on a back burner, while black men get worshipped and praised as gods. So yeah, if you go to Peru or Chile or Nicaragua or Honduras, okay, if you go to any of those places, your sons are going to be worshipped. Your daughters are going to be ignored and put on a back burner. Okay, so this is why for black females, it is not recommended to go to Spanish-speaking countries at all. I would go to Africa as long as you are a female. I wouldn't go anywhere outside the motherland because your chances of getting married are almost 0 to none. This is how it is all over the world. This is how it's always going to be. And so for black women, I would not recommend anything outside of Africa. Black men can go anywhere. They're worshipped and praised as gods because, again, the media is making them to be, gods of everything and everywhere, everybody. And I think that I'm not sure if the black community is also a part of this. I'm not sure, but I think that's a very shitty thing to do. I really do. Because the black man came from in between the legs of a black woman. If you guys can't accept that, then black women need to stop having black sons altogether. They just shouldn't have them anymore. You just won't exist. Okay, so that is my whole message for this video, and I will be coming out with another video soon, and hopefully you all get the message of this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Let's see. Thanks so much for listening, and have a good day.